Welcome to Sleepy Scientific Secrets, a quiet corner where we leave the noise of the day behind and gently uncover the hidden wonders of our world. Tonight, we begin a fascinating exploration. As you rest here with me, you might notice how dreams feel vivid and close when the eyes first open and then soften and fade like mist touched by early light. One quiet reason for this lies in the chemistry of sleep. During dreaming sleep, the brain releases very little norepinephrine, a messenger linked to memory storage. Without much of it, dreams are experienced but rarely filed away. They drift through the mind like footprints on warm sand. And, as you listen, you may sense how memory needs a certain stillness to settle, just as you need calm to drift deeper. As the night moves on, another gentle secret appears: the hippocampus. A small curved structure that helps form memories is less active during dreaming sleep. It watches quietly from a distance while images, emotions, and stories flow freely. Without its steady guidance, dreams wander without anchors. They are like clouds changing shape without asking to be remembered. Perhaps you have felt this when a dream feels meaningful, yet slips away the moment you try to hold it. There is also the soft timing of awakening. When we wake suddenly, the brain shifts gears, quickly preparing the body for the day. Attention turns outward and the inner theater dims. Dreams that were glowing moments ago lose their light. This change happens so smoothly that forgetting feels natural, like closing a book without marking the page. And you might notice how staying still for a breath can sometimes bring a fragment back. If tonight's exploration felt like a peaceful escape, you can let me know with a like, or stay longer by subscribing. Either way, I'm grateful you're here. And if you feel like sharing, I'd love to know. What quiet corner of the world is listening along? Another secret rests in how the brain prioritizes emotion over detail during dreams. Areas linked to feeling are active, while areas for logic and order remain quiet. What stays is the mood, not the story. A sense of wonder or unease lingers while scenes dissolve. It is like remembering the warmth of sunlight without the shape of the window it came through. And as you lie there, emotions may feel closer than images. There is also the simple truth that the brain protects rest. Forgetting dreams keeps the boundary between night and day soft and clean. It allows the mind to begin again without carrying too much weight. Dreams do their work quietly, then step aside. And as this thought settles, you may feel how forgetting is not a failure, but part of the design. A gentle clearing that makes space for what comes next. And this quiet clearing continues as the brain moves through the night. Another subtle process unfolds as sleep cycles repeat. Dreams often appear during rapid eye movement sleep, which arrives in waves. Early waves are shorter, and later waves grow longer. Memories formed closer to waking have a better chance to remain. Dreams that visit earlier are gently overwritten by later activity, like chalk lines softened by new layers of dust. You may sense how timing alone can decide what stays and what drifts. As these cycles continue, the brain also performs synaptic pruning. Connections that are less useful are weakened to protect learning and clarity. During this process, dream imagery is treated as temporary. The brain keeps what helps and releases what does not. Scenes and characters fade like echoes in a large room. And perhaps you can feel how letting go creates space for rest. Another quiet influence comes from language itself. The regions that translate experience into words are less active during dreaming sleep. Without words, dreams remain unlabeled. They exist as sensations and movement rather than stories. When waking arrives, the mind looks for names and finds none. The feeling remains while the shape dissolves, like remembering the warmth of water without recalling the river. Breathing shifts also play a role. During deep rest, breathing becomes slower and more rhythmic. This supports relaxation but reduces alert awareness. Lower awareness means fewer markers for memory. Dreams pass without being tagged recall. They float through awareness like leaves on still water. And you may notice how calm breathing invites forgetting as much as comfort. There is also the influence of light. When morning light touches the eyes, it signals the brain to suppress melatonin and prepare for action. This chemical change. Visual memory of dreams weakens as outer vision takes priority. Night images yield to daylight forms, like stars fading at sunrise. And in this gentle handover, the mind chooses the present moment. All of this happens without effort or intention. Forgetting dreams is woven into the rhythm of rest and renewal. The brain balances memory, emotion, and recovery with quiet precision. As these processes continue, you may feel how the night keeps moving forward, carrying you softly through layers of sleep and silence, letting the mind wander freely and return lighter than before, as another layer of quiet understanding settles in. Within this gentle flow, the brain uses a messenger called acetylcholine that rises during dreaming sleep. This chemical sharpens imagery while loosening memory storage. Pictures glow with detail yet remain unpinned, like lanterns drifting across dark water. You may feel how clarity does not always mean keeping. As the night leans toward morning, cortisol begins to rise. This hormone prepares the body to wake and focus. When it appears too early, it can interrupt dream memory before it settles. The dream fades as alertness grows, like dew lifting from grass with the first warmth. And you might notice how readiness gently replaces reverie. Thoughts that arrive upon waking also matter. The brain quickly fills awareness with plans, sounds, and movement. New thoughts compete with dream traces and often replace them. This is called interference. The last thing remembered pushes aside what came just before, like writing over a soft page. Perhaps you have sensed this when a single thought erases an entire dream. Individual brains also differ in how they hold dreams. Some people have higher activity in areas linked to memory recall even during rest. These brains allow more overlap between dreaming and waking. Dreams linger longer, like music that continues after the room grows quiet. And listening now, you may feel how minds carry night in different ways. Attention itself plays a quiet role. When waking attention turns inward, dreams can resurface. When it turns outward, they dissolve. This shift happens without effort, like eyes adjusting to distance. The mind chooses where to rest. And as attention drifts softly, the night continues to move through thought and breath and gentle awareness, still unfolding. Still unfolding as awareness drifts between presence and release. Another quiet mechanism works beneath this gentle surface. During sleep, the brain engages the glymphatic system, which clears metabolic waste through slow pulsing fluid. This cleansing activity slightly reduces neural firing linked to memory persistence. Dreams move through a mind that is being washed and renewed, like reflections dissolving as water flows beneath them. And you may feel how clarity often arrives after forgetting. Temperature also shapes recall. As the body cools during sleep, brain regions involved in memory communication slow their exchange. Cooler temperatures support deeper rest, but soften memory encoding. Dream scenes lose their edges, like colors fading in evening air. And resting here, you might sense how comfort invites softness rather than holding. There is also the influence of repetition. Waking memories strengthen through repeated activation. Dreams rarely repeat in the same form. Without repetition, neural pathways remain light. The brain lets them pass without reinforcement, like paths in snow that vanish by morning. And you may notice how what returns again and again is what stays. Emotion continues to guide this process. Strong emotions can anchor fragments of dreams. Fear, joy, or tenderness may linger while details disappear. The amygdala responds while memory systems remain selective. Feeling survives story, like the echo of a song without its words. And perhaps you can feel how emotion floats more easily than image. Finally, there is the role of purpose. The sleeping brain focuses on integration rather than recall. Dreams help process experiences quietly without needing to be remembered. They serve the night, then dissolve, like notes played for the room, not the record. And as this understanding settles, the flow of thought continues gently, carrying sensation, breath, and quiet curiosity forward through the night, still moving, still open, still at ease as the night breathes on. Another gentle factor moves quietly through the mind. During dreaming sleep, the thalamus reduces how it relays sensory information. External signals are softened while internal images roam freely. Without steady sensory anchors, memories lose reference points. Dreams feel rich yet untethered, like scenes painted without a frame. And you may sense how grounding helps memory stay. At the same time, dopamine levels remain low during most dreaming sleep. Dopamine usually helps mark experiences as important. When it is quiet, the brain treats dreams as low priority. They pass without emphasis, like notes written in water. And resting here, you might feel how importance shapes what remains. Neural networks also shift their pattern. The default mode network, which supports self-reflection, becomes fragmented during dreams. Thoughts appear without a stable sense of self. Memory thrives on continuity. Dreams offer motion without a center, like drifting through rooms without doors. And perhaps you notice how identity gently fades in sleep. Motor systems add another layer. During dreaming sleep, the brainstem blocks muscle movement to protect the body. This paralysis also limits feedback from movement. Without physical action, fewer memory cues are created. Dreams unfold without weight or resistance, like running without touching the ground. and you may feel how sensation anchors waking life. There is also the quiet influence of sleep spindles. These brief bursts of activity help consolidate waking memories during non-dreaming sleep. Dreams rarely align with this timing. Without spindles, dream content is less likely to be stored. It drifts through a mind focused on restoration, like wind passing through tall grass. And as these rhythms continue, the night keeps carrying thought and feeling forward, holding space for rest and release, and the soft movement of awareness still flowing as the night holds its gentle course. Another quiet influence rests in how memory systems favor meaning over imagery. During sleep, the brain extracts patterns rather than scenes. Relationships, emotions, and themes are integrated while visual detail is released. Dreams offer raw material, not archives, like petals gathered while the flower falls away, and you may feel how understanding often arrives without pictures. Hormonal balance continues to guide this softness. Growth hormone peaks during deep sleep, supporting repair and learning. Its presence shifts resources toward the body and away from conscious recall. Dreams unfold in a background of healing, like conversations overheard while resting in shade. And listening now, you might sense how restoration asks for forgetting. The brain also synchronizes large networks through slow waves. These waves coordinate timing, but reduce the precision needed for storing narrative memory. Events blur together. Sequence dissolves. Dreams become timeless, like drifting without clocks. And perhaps you notice how time loosens its grip as rest deepens. Memory also depends on intention, even when asleep. When no intention to remember exists, encoding remains shallow. The sleeping mind does not plan to recall dreams. It allows them to pass, like letters never addressed. And you may feel how effort belongs to waking life, not to this quiet space. Individual nights shape this balance differently. Stress, novelty, and routine all shift brain chemistry. Some nights leave faint traces, others leave none. The system adapts without comment, like tides responding to the moon. And as this adaptability continues, the night moves forward, carrying awareness gently between sensation and silence, letting thoughts rise and fall, holding nothing tightly, still breathing, still present, still moving softly through the dark. Still moving softly through the dark as another set of quiet influences comes into view. The brain also uses dreams as a simulation space. Neural circuits rehearse possibilities without committing them to memory. This rehearsal strengthens future responses rather than past recall. Dreams act like practice runs erased after use, like sketches made in sand before the tide arrives. And you may sense how preparation does not require remembering. Neurotransmitters continue their gentle dance. Serotonin levels remain low during dreaming sleep. Serotonin helps stabilize mood and support memory consistency. With less of it, dream experiences remain fluid and shifting. Scenes slide into one another without structure, like colors blending on wet paper. And resting here, you might feel how softness replaces order. The brain also reduces activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This area supports reasoning and sequence. Without it, events lose logic and timeline. Memory prefers order. Dreams offer freedom instead, like walking without maps. And you may notice how surrender replaces control as rest deepens. Sensory imagery itself can interfere with storage. Dreams often combine fragments from many memories. The overlap creates noise that weakens recall. The brain chooses not to store mixed signals, like trying to keep several reflections in one mirror. And perhaps you feel how simplicity invites memory, while richness invites release. There is also the rhythm of circadian timing. As internal clocks shift toward morning, the brain prepares for waking tasks. Energy is redirected toward alertness and coordination. Dream recall fades as readiness grows, like night birds quieting before dawn. And as this transition continues, awareness drifts gently, moving with the body through cycles of rest and renewal. Letting the night carry what it needs. Allowing what remains to stay light and unheld as the night continues its quiet work. Another influence rests in how memory depends on context. Dreams occur in an environment without stable cues. No consistent sounds, positions, or goals are present. Memory forms best when context can be matched later. Dreams lack this bridge. They feel complete while happening, yet hard to return to, like paths seen only in fog, and you may feel how memory needs familiar ground. Brain waves also shift their harmony. Theta waves dominate dreaming sleep. These waves support imagination and navigation rather than recall. They guide experience without recording it, like music played for movement, not memory. And resting here, you might sense how rhythm carries you without asking to stay. The balance between left and right hemispheres changes as well. Visual and emotional regions become more active, while language areas remain quiet. Experiences unfold without narration. Without inner speech, memory traces weaken. Dreams are lived, not told. Like watching clouds without naming shapes. And you may notice how words anchor waking life. Neural replay also plays a role. During some sleep phases, the brain replays waking experiences to strengthen memory. Dreams often interrupt this replay with new imagery. The brain chooses consolidation over storage of the dream itself, like choosing which seeds to keep. And perhaps you feel how selection happens without awareness. Even posture influences recall. During sleep, the body remains still for long periods. Movement helps encode memory by marking transitions. Without movement, dreams pass smoothly without edges, like a river without stones. And as these gentle conditions align, the mind continues to drift, moving through layers of rest and renewal, carrying nothing heavy, allowing thought sensation and silence to flow together, still open, still calm, still becoming. Still calm, still becoming as everything begins to soften. The movement of thought slows on its own. What was once curiosity now feels like warmth. Images no longer ask to be held. They rest and pass, like breath moving through leaves. The mind does not need to follow. It can simply allow. Awareness settles lower, from ideas into sensation, from sensation into quiet. The space around each thought grows wider. Gaps appear, comfortable and unfilled. Nothing is missing. Nothing is required. The night carries its own balance. Memories loosen their grip. Even the wish to remember drifts away. There is no effort here, no task. Just the gentle presence of being, like floating without direction, supported without knowing how. The rhythm of breathing becomes more noticeable, slow, even, natural. Each breath a small wave, rising, falling, leaving no trace. Thoughts follow the same pattern, appearing, fading, returning to stillness. The world feels farther away now. Sounds soften, distance grows kind, attention narrows into a single calm point, or perhaps spreads so wide it disappears. Either way feels the same, safe, quiet, resting. Language itself begins to thin, sentences shorten, meanings blur, the need to understand dissolves. What remains is ease, a simple comfort, like lying in shade after a long walk. Moments stretch or vanish. Time becomes gentle. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. The night holds everything evenly. Thoughts become fewer, softer, slower. Breath, stillness, rest, and then even these soften, drifting, quiet, peace here.